Hey everybody, today I'm recording on, my actual camera on my iPhone, so it's probably gonna look backwards, and ignore if you can see any notifications that come through on my phone on my glasses. Yeah, by backwards, I meant that it flips my face around, and I like how it looks whenever I'm, like, looking at the camera like this. But I don't like how it looks whenever I, like, watch it over, but, like, whatever. I'm gonna post it anyways. This is the first take of this video, and I'm probably gonna end up posting this take because why not? So, I wanted to talk about the waiver process with the military. So it's been a long process, right? I'll start from June. So, June 18th, I went to MEPS. I completed the MEPS physical, and yeah, so I did the MEPS physical that day. I got cleared by the MEPS physician, but she had to put a waiver in the system for me, or my branch had to, which that was at that time the Navy. And the things that are on my waiver is, okay, I have a lot of things on my waiver, but now I'm processing with the Army. So anywho, the Navy denied me. But okay, hold on, let's just start with that. So the Navy took 4 weeks just for them to deny me, which is great. And so now I've already been waiting with the Army for 2.5 weeks on the waiver process. So let's explain more on that. So basically, on July 16th, I got denied by the Navy. And then July 17th, I already started processing with the Army. And then I did all the pre-screening paperwork, and then at my recruiter's office that day, and then my recruiter submitted my waiver, my medical waiver, and it came back on July 28th as returned without action. And so my recruiter said that that's, like, a good sign. Sorry, I always mess up my hair, whatever. I hate how my hair looks, it's fine. My recruiter said that that's a good sign that it came back as returned without action, I guess, because at least it's not a denial. But so then on July 28th, I went to my recruiter's office that day after it was returned without action that morning, I guess, and I gave him my April 2024 to July 2026 prescription records, which I'm guessing that's the only thing that the waiver review board requested me to send back, I guess. So, and then I also did a drug test at my recruiter's office that same day, and it was negative, of course, because I don't do drugs, never will. So, lovely. And yeah, because the only active prescription that I'm on right now is I wear a Torella birth control patch on my stomach right down here. And then the other technically active prescription on my record right now is an EpiPen for my shellfish allergy that I got prescribed on August 7th, 2025. And I had an anaphylactic reaction to shrimp that day. So, because I ate a shrimp pasta whenever I was out with one of my friends, and I had to end up going to an urgent care. I got hives on my back, and then my throat was getting itchy and kind of closed a little. And then I had to get an EpiPen at urgent care. Then it was protocol, so they brought an ambulance to the urgent care. It took me to the hospital. That was like 10 minutes from there or whatever, and I had to be monitored for 4 hours. And I finally got released from the hospital at like 12:30 a.m. that night, and then one of my girls drove me back to my car, and I got to go home. But I got prescribed my 2 EpiPens that I now carry with me. Well, no, I don't carry it with me anywhere because I just avoid eating shrimp and lobster, but the EpiPens, I have them at home. So, there's that. Anywho. So yeah, July 28th, I went to my recruiter's office, gave him my April 2024 to July 2026 pharmacy prescription records, and then I did the drug test at his office, and then he read the test, and it was negative, And then that was that. So he, I guess, submitted my negative drug test and my prescription records that I gave him and resubmitted that with my waiver that same day. And then today is now August 14th, and it is business day number 13 of me waiting on the waiver results. And so I looked it up online. I've been just like researching, and it said complex waiver packets like mine can take 3 to 4 weeks to hear back from the I think it's called USAREC, USAREC, I think. Yeah. Like the US Army Recruiting Command waiver review people, doctors. That's who's reviewing it right now. And so yeah, so let's go over the things that are on my waiver. Okay. So in the past, the Navy already approved my mental health history as well as my heart murmur. The only things that the Navy denied was my EpiPen for my shellfish allergy and the vasculitis that I had in the hospital in May. Okay, but everything that's on my waiver, starting with number 1, is I have an IEP in school, which is just called like individual education program or whatever. I had that elementary through like college, like 5th grade through college, basically because I can't write an essay to save my life unless it's like an easy prompt or and like reading comprehension stuff I'm not like the best at. Same with math. I'm fine with like, basic math, like basic like algebra, geometry shit, right? But whenever it gets to like high level math, like I'm not good at that. So that's why I have an IEP in school, basically just for like English and math classes, basically. I'm good at everything else, but yeah. So there's that, and so if you have an IEP, it automatically has to get on like a waiver for it. But I already have 43 college credits. Now I'm taking a break in school for the time being. So I'll finish school if I get into the Army. If not, then I plan to just apply to the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department and see if I can get into the academy there. But I'll let y'all know once I hear back about my waiver on what the next plan is. So yeah, so there's that on my waiver, and then the next thing is an innocent heart murmur, which I provided EKG scans that I had from the hospital from May, which I wasn't there for my heart or anything. They just did an EKG scan there. But I was in the hospital. So then the third thing, so that's the second thing, innocent heart murmur. Third thing on my waiver is I was in the hospital in May for vasculitis. An acute case of vasculitis that resolved within like 10 days from like start to end. I was in the hospital from May 4th to 6th, and then at my follow-up dermatologist appointment on May 14th, it was completely resolved. He wrote that down in his like documents that he gave me, and so I submitted all of those documents with my waiver first time around as well. So that's number 3 thing, and then number 4 is so we have the IEP, heart murmur, vasculitis, and mental health history, anxiety, depression, OCD, history of those things. I stopped taking medication for all of those things in January 2024, and my prescription records that I provided from 2019 to 2026, I gave them all of those printed out copies that my recruiter submitted with my waiver, can prove that I stopped those medications for that stuff in January of 2024. So there's that. I already got cleared by the MEPS physician on my June 18th physical. She just had to submit the waiver for these things. So, and she was like, good luck. And I'm like, thanks. But, so the Navy denied me, but now we're waiting on the Army. So there's those 4 things. IEP. What did I put next? Heart murmur, vasculitis, mental health history. And then, is there one more thing? Or no? Can't remember. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought there was 5 things on there. Oh! Wait. Those are like the main ones, right? But she also did put, I had high blood pressure whenever I got it tested at MEPS for my freaking physical, and they were like, oh my God, are you okay? The doctors were like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, like, I'm fine. I just get, like, high blood pressure when I'm at the doctor's. Like, every doctor's office, it doesn't matter who it is. Like, my blood pressure automatically, like, gets high. But I don't have high blood pressure. I told them I'm, like, at my gynecologist, like, she had me get a blood pressure cuff for home, and at home, it's, like, 125/80, like, it's normal. But there, I think it tested, like, it was really high at first, but then the second time around, it was, like, 164/94. Which is still really high, but, like, yeah, so she wrote that on my waiver as well, like, of course. But, so yeah, those are the main 5 things that are on my waiver, and, we're gonna see. We're gonna see if the Army approves it or not. I really want to get in. I really want to get in because this waiver process has just been, like, so long and daunting and draining and, like, discouraging, really, honestly, is what it is. It's stressful, really stressful, given that it's already been 2.5 weeks since my waiver has been resubmitted into the system now, and I'm hoping to hear back by the week of August 24th because the Navy took exactly 4 weeks on the dot, like 4 calendar weeks, to get back to me about the final decision for the waiver, right? And so I'm hoping the Army at least gets back to me by the week of August 24th, since August 25th would mark 4 weeks, and then August 25th would mark 20 business days since the waiver got submitted, and that's how long the Navy took to get back with the final results. So the Navy just straight up denied me, but the Army at least sent back the returned without action, so that was a good sign, I guess. And then we gave them the prescription records that they requested. My recruiter submitted that, and he submitted my negative drug test as well in the system on July 28th, and now today is August 14th, and I'm waiting, still waiting on the final decision. I really want to know, but yeah, my backup plan is to apply to the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, and see if I can get accepted into their police academy. So that's the plan. I already have my bag packed for boot camp, but if my waiver gets denied, then that's of course not needed anymore. But, yeah, so, I will let you all know once I hear back about my waiver, and, yeah, the waiver process is stressful and draining and discouraging, kind of. And just, like, I just really want to know. Like, I've had patience, okay? I've had patience, but I think it's been long enough, and I just really want to know the answer. I really want to know, like, now. I really want to know now. But, I just gotta wait even longer. Hopefully I hear back by the week of August 24th, and then I'll let you guys know what the, final result is of that, and my next steps from there. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.